They're giving me awesome guests to hop up here, and we have Pete here from Bethesda. Pete, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Good to have you up here. You are, of course, from Bethesda. I believe we can even see your booth just a little bit
right over there. It's hard to miss it.
I can see, it looks like Doom right now is thumping over there. Oh, no, it's Wolfenstein 2. Nice. But it's great to have you on the show. Great to have you up here on the Mixer stage. If you are a fan of Bethesda, let me know in chat. We've got chat up here. Let Pete know what you guys feel. What's some of your favorite Bethesda games? And while we're talking, we're going to talk a little bit specifically about a couple games. The first game being Evil Within 2.
Sure.
I know a lot of people are excited. You guys had the first game, I believe. So what are we, 2017, came out in 2005?
Honestly, I can't even keep track anymore. Literally, 18 years at this company.
We just were talking about this. You're coming up on 20.
Yeah, well, it's 18 in October.
Wow.
And other than Skyrim's 11-11-11, I can't keep years or titles straight. It was a few years ago.
Just keep launching them on those straight numbers. It'll go. But no, you guys have announced Evil Within 2 earlier on.
Yep.
Showed some trailer. Very sexy game. Looks very good. I played the first one. Definitely got terrified the crap out of me in the first couple of hours. But also kind of kept me playing along too, because you guys kind of had that action adventure part of it.
Yep.
I love that. The game mechanics are very tight. But specifically Evil Within 2, and I think we even have some footage that are going to roll too while we chat about this. Kind of give us what's the lowdown? What's the latest?
Well, it's the follow-up to the Evil Within from Shinji Mikami and his team at Tango, Shinji being the father of survival horror. And it's him sort of taking what worked well in Evil Within and doing some more of that and bringing some new elements to it. So a lot more around Sebastian and trying to do a lot more with story and characters than in the first Evil Within.
Because some of the feedback from the community is they definitely wanted more of that.
Yeah, like they really liked the DLC that we did around Kidman, who was Sebastian's partner in the first game. And so trying to do more with that and building on kind of what Sebastian is all about. I mean, you start this game and he is basically a broken person. Like after the events of the first Evil Within, he's lost his wife, he's lost his job, he's an alcoholic.
He's got much left in the tank.
He's literally hit rock bottom, and that's where you find him at the beginning of the Evil Within 2, where Kidman comes back to tell him that the daughter he thought was dead is actually still alive.
Oh.
And it's sort of his chance at like salvation and like finding himself again and starting to get his life and his family back together. And he goes into STEM, which is this world that his daughter is actually being used to power, and he's got to go back in and find out where she is because they've kind of lost her. And from there, everything goes to hell in a handbasket.
Well, it definitely sounds like you guys doubled down on the story element of that.
Yeah, so
a
lot more
of, like she's powering this element that he's jacking into and like taking a look into, but trying to figure out what's going on with her. And he's got nothing left to lose.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, he's literally going from zero. A lot more exploration. And look, it's not like open world, right? It's not Skyrim or Fallout, but it is a lot more like, hey, when you're moving through or trying to do this, like there's different paths you can take or different ways, doing more with stealth. It's still about scarcity of resources. We want it to be like you always feel a little off balance and vulnerable.
It wouldn't be a survival horror if I was just loaded up and just like health packs are falling out of my
you're not going to
packets.
have grenades strapped across your chest and all the ammo you can spend. It's going to be about like, I got 2 bullets left and 3 enemies to deal with. Like, how in the hell am I getting out of this? So, but how you do that, the crafting system, what kind of things you want to craft with the resources you are able to find, whether you put it into one kind of thing or another, giving players more choices about what they want to do and how they want to do it, rewarding exploration a lot more. So you'll have something Evil Within really didn't have much of at all, which is side quests. Like you'll be going through and coming across other people in the world who will say, hey, can you help me with this? Or you might want to go investigate
so
that.
While you're progressing on your main quest, basically these guys are like, hey, we've got maybe this potential interesting like little carrot drop.
Right. And those things are almost always about like more resources, right? Like, why would I do that? I just want to play the story. Like, well, the reason you would do that is I'm going to get rewarded with stuff that's going to make me much more likely to survive. And so you can skip that stuff if you want. Like, nah, I'm good. I feel like I got enough, health or whatever. You can skip it. But if you want to either explore more of the world or get more resources, side quests are going to be really big.
I like the idea of having that option. It's not just a loot fest where you just need to try to loot. I like the idea of actually adding a little bit of story behind it.
Sure.
Saying like, sure, here's a little bit of a carrot. Why is it worth it to you? You're in a survival horror game.
Yeah, and in a way that's
like
meaningful,
bullets?
right? Like if you're a completionist and want to go find a bunch of collectibles, like that's fine, but you're probably going to do that anyway. In our game, the exploration is more about you want to explore if, like, I just need more ammo. Like, I have 4 bullets for my pistol. Like,
Don't
this
feel
is not
equipped.
okay. Yeah, like, I'm going to go do more exploration to try and find more resources to get to a point where I feel like I stumble across a really bad situation, like I got a little bit more, literally, a little more ammo for my arsenal.
Right, and I think with survival horror games, especially with Evil Within, you have those experiences where you might have overstepped your boundaries a little bit and depleted some of those resources. So in the hindsight, you almost need to incentivize yourself to be able to go do those.
Sure, and the other thing is that you have that choice of not engaging at all. Like, you can sort of stealth your way a lot more and kind of bypass stuff or try to, or, you know, create distractions to go around another way to say, I don't want to get into a fight at all. But if you do, that's actually another way to get certain kinds of resources that you might need. So you get this sort of interesting tension between, like, which sort of resources matter. Do I want to use my ammo to get more, like, stuff that'll level me up and give me more abilities, or am I light on ammo and it's really not worth it? Like, I'll just be out of ammo and more powerful.
Just have to deal with that, but maybe have a little bit more power.
Yep.
I like the idea of that, and I also what I'm a big fan of too is understandable open world games. They have their place, right? You guys very well know your open world games, but also enjoy the experience of, instead of giving me just a linear little path I need to squeeze my butt through, I can kind of have a little bit of an open area. And I'm noticing that's becoming a more common theme because it's choices, really. It's giving choices. I have a couple engagements, or having a couple encounters I might run into, or, you know, I don't have to like trudge my way straight through it. As you were saying, you can sneak around it maybe a little bit, you can take them head on, but then also you can explore the area a little bit, maybe have these happenstance chances you might run across.
It makes the world feel more real, I guess. You know, you come into like a crossroads, like an intersection. Well, if you head down all 3 and they just happen to be all blocked off, like, then that sort of kills your desire to kind of poke around, because, like, well, clearly there's only one street I'm allowed to go down. But if each of those leads to a slightly different thing, or maybe some different encounters, then it starts to make you sort of question and think more about the decisions you're making and what do I want to do, like, because anywhere you go could be resources and also could be danger.
Yeah, I like that. Somebody mentioned in chat, freedom is king.
Yeah.
Which I think is really important to
Well,
point out, because you want to express yourself as a gamer.
Choice, right? Like, we want people to make choices about where do I want to go, how do I want to approach this, what am I going to spend my resources on, you know, how do I want to improve what my character is doing or able to do. All of those, when in the player's hands, especially in a survival horror game. You know, horror movies are really fun, but you're passive. You're just the spectator. And in the game,
just watching it happen.
When you're the one in control of, like, if you're literally yelling at the screen in our game, don't go in that door. Well, then don't go in the door. Like, go do something
through the
else.
Side door. Go
figure out
around
another
it.
way to handle it. I think that's part of what makes survival horror such a great way to experience this genre, is you're really in charge of the choices. If we give you an alley and the only thing you can do is open the door, well, now we've removed a lot of that choice. Like, yeah, that door is going to lead you to things that are really bad. So giving you more choice and more freedom is part of what makes that tension so much more fun.
And again, this stemmed from feedback, as it's really important to touch on. Like, this is the sequel. This is the second iteration of Evil Within. You guys already had great success on the first one, and I loved it myself. Lots of fans in here. I seen out of the corner of my eye a lot of people excited about it. If you have played Evil Within, actually, would love to hear some of those experiences here in chat. That's why we got you guys right here. But
and folks seem to be enjoying it. You know, we've got hands-on here.
You have it here at the booth.
We've got it. Nice dark room. Where you're all sort of blocked
mood?
Up. Yeah, we're all blocked off, so you can't see anybody else.
That makes me nervous.
Like, you know, with headphones, like, we really want you to kind of enjoy that immersive experience. That, I mean, it's loud in here. There's a lot of people in here.
Yeah, we're shouting at each other, if you can't tell already.
Yourself from all of that to play a survival horror game does have a really cool effect.
Now, to highlight here, what are people getting their hands on who are lucky enough to be here at PAX when Evil Within 2?
You mean, what are they getting to play?
Yeah.
It's an early section of the game where you're first getting into STEM and you're exploring this town. And basically, I mean, you're making the first steps towards finding your daughter. And basically what's happened is, so your daughter is being used to power STEM. They've lost her. And then they sent in a team to go find her, and they went missing. And so you're going in and, like, trying to find a team to see if they can help you find your daughter. And you're sort of first kind of getting reintroduced to the hellish, nightmarish landscape
that is Evil Within.
That is STEM and the Evil Within and all the crazy stuff that Shinji and his team have come up with.
I was going to say, it sounds like you guys probably also double down on kind of the creepy, crawly monsters, the things you can kind of run into that terrify you.
First one that you see is
literally
is something out of nightmares. Like, I don't know what these guys do in their spare time to come up with this stuff.
I always wonder with survival horror games, just to interrupt really quickly, I'm always curious, like, where do these guys pull these inspiration from? Because, I mean, I'm a pansy. I can watch horror movies, but when I play a game, I really, like, focus on that game. Like, I am that game. And I just wonder, like, and those things terrify the crap out of me. Like, where do people go for instance? Like, they're just sitting at a candy shop.
Probably the most commonly used phrase in any meeting, like teleconferences we have with them, is "What is wrong with you?" Because at some point we'll be going through and they'll be like, "All right, we're going to put up like new concept art or whatever from like some of the new creatures we come up with," and they'll put it up and we'll be like, "Oh, God in heaven! Like, what is wrong with you?" And like, "Okay, here's our next one." Like, "Oh, Jesus! Like, what is the matter?" So it is definitely an interesting experience, sort of all throughout development on a monthly basis, to see like what nightmarish creations they've come up with, and like, "Hey, here's a new twist on this thing." Like, "Oh, you guys are demented." No, it's a good idea not to eat, and even afterwards, you don't want to eat. We go hungry a lot.
we go Bethesda, just hungry people, just specifically Evil Within. Well, it's great to see kind of the reaction. I bet you guys are getting some great reaction.
Yeah, it's been great. People sort of dig in the environment they get to play in, and then the gameplay sort of speaks for themselves. And it's really cool that, you know, in a game like this, where maybe in the first one people had very similar experiences, that where folks are and what they've done after, you know, the half hour or so they get to play the game has been very diverse. Like, some people get to certain parts, some people are still over here.
Yeah, because everybody ends.
Yeah, they're all kind of doing different things in different places. Who snuck, who still has lots of ammo, who used all theirs up. Like, it's kind of fun to see that it can be a much more diverse experience maybe than folks were expecting.
I can definitely tell you I am the ammo burner in survival horror games, because I don't want that thing to come near me, so I'm definitely like closing my eyes and emptying my entire
like panic trigger, just God.
Yeah, a lot of swear words, so
yes.
Definitely a rated mature stream if I were to ever stream it online. But the headphones add just a whole other dimension, because you guys really worked on the sound of the game too. The developer has really
sound design is great. The music is great. Like, it's all about setting not just the visual tone, but also that audio is so important. You know, and a lot of times even just the absence of that stuff going on is so unsettling. They're very mean people, by the way. Like there's lots of times where they'll do stuff with sound effects or music
just to
give you and you're like braced for something, and then nothing happens, and you're like,
"Oh, that's the worst,
jackass!" Like, seriously. So you're really off, and then something awful will happen, and you know the cue comes like a second afterwards. So they really do sort of like.
But your heart rate is just now like calming down.
They're really jerks.
That's really exciting.
But they're very good at what they do. It's definitely a scary, fun game.
Nice. That's exciting. And I'm actually leaning over here. I think we have some footage of Evil Within 2 that we can actually show. I heard somebody whisper that earlier. So I'm going to queue over here and see if they can make eye contact with one of the producers here. We are live. It is loud at PAX, so making eyeballs. Okay, it looks like, they're queuing it up here. And I think we're actually going to get a little bit of a peek at what you guys have showed. Or we're going to show the trailer. We'll see what he queues up over here. All right, they're about ready to roll it here, and we'll see it down here in just a second, so we can give people here in chat just kind of an eyeball at what we're going to see.
In the meantime, I think Ethan just went floating by. I think he's still on that energy high.
Is he still on that Jeep?
Yeah, I just saw him bouncing off the ceiling and headed down that way.
I'm waiting for him to pull Spider-Man's and just be zipping right along here. Oh, there we go, right there. So it looks like, where are we at here?
Screen's dark.
It's a little bit of a glare. So it looks like he's receiving a call.
Yeah, he's got this little comm unit that he can use. So one of the ways that we do side quests is that you can find them and sort of get led to different things to do using this little communicator device that not only allows you to talk to people, it's also kind of how you track down, like, this is what you're doing to try and hone in on where your daughter is. So yeah, we're sort of in and around and kind of exploring the town that I mentioned, and again, you can kind of get a sense of the world in terms of
somebody's
over lots of different ways to go through. Normally, this is
because you wouldn't have to engage this if you didn't want to. This enemy right here.
Yeah. By the way, I should probably say, like, it's a good idea to avoid her if you're not prepared for a fight, because she's not easy to deal with.
I was gonna say, who is this?
Several times. already. This is so you're sort of facing different manifestations, horrors in the world. And then you come across her, and she's definitely much tougher and more powerful.
Which it looks like he threw a distraction.
He threw a bottle over there to create a sound to make her turn and look, so you can come in and explore the house.
So this is the point where I would now be sighing and being like, okay, I'm in the house, the door's shut. I feel like I'm safe.
And one of the things they do, and it's sort of...
Oh, no, yep, that light flickered. This is where I nope right out of that house.
Little stuff with the flashlight, or like how long the flashlight lasts. This is my favorite part here, like the way that we open doors.
Oh.
So unsettling. Like
I don't know if I like that. That was
like how doors open where you just get this moment of like, are we cool, or are things about to go sideways in the most colossal way? Like you never really know. You can see here with the chair kind of having this weird effect. Like again, it's not reality. You're in this virtual.
Yeah, you're in this virtual presence.
And so like things can warp and manifest. You walk into rooms and turn around, and then suddenly the door's gone, or like furniture starts vibrating or flickering out of existence. All has the effect of keeping you really like.
And it looks like it got really cold suddenly, which is never a good. Oh, nope.
Yeah, you know,
the
aforementioned furniture moving around.
Sometimes the furniture can have a bad attitude. Just gotta watch for the flying couches, apparently. Oh, yeah. Oh, there you're talking about where you turn around.
Yeah, she seems friendly, so this will probably go well.
Oh, she just wants a hug.
Yeah. No.
Maybe she just wants a hug.
I saw somebody in the chat asking, this is on multiple platforms. So
that's true, yeah.
PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Nice. And I know a lot of people are excited. We've had a lot of love showing here. We're showing the Xbox One X version of games on that, and I know a lot of people are excited to get their hands even on games like this. They can really sing on that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, if you're into survival horror, like this is a great opportunity because there's not a whole lot going on this holiday fourth quarter in survival horror. You had Resident Evil earlier, but yeah, we're really excited about doing something that, in some ways, it's a little bit old school. You know, to kind of go back to being very vulnerable. You know, just trying to keep your health above the do not die line.
At the end of the day,
resources. You know, Shinji was a big believer in that when he first started survival horror, and you know, it's kind of gone in some different directions througrout the years. But he wanted to bring it back.
Genres have split off that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely evolved. But I think, like you said, oh god, those doors open. Those door opens are still a little terrifying. Right? Yeah, just the fact that, I mean, I appreciate it because some survival horrors, you touch the door and it flings open like super hard,
just
and
that kind of slow reveal.
But that slow reveal, because I'm sure they probably take advantage of that every now and then and jump out at you. But like you said, not a lot of games of this genre right now this fall. So, and I know being a streaming platform, this is a very big niche on the internet, especially in streaming.
And by the way, conveniently enough, A, will be out before Halloween for those of you who are looking for a good scare on Halloween, but B, is coming out on Friday the 13th because why not? So,
because why not?
So this October, if you want to spend, all platforms simultaneous. So, you know, you want to do your Friday the 13th right, this is a really good way to do it.
Yeah, we have a lot of partners too hang out and stream and watching the stream back behind us in our partner lounge. So they're definitely excited. That's definitely a very big theme, doing Friday the 13th or survival horror streams, doing Halloween survival horror streams. So this comes out right before Halloween, which would be kind of nice to be able to get hands on it. So I can't wait to touch this one, and definitely might need a change of pants. There's a clip of me on the internet where I literally fall out of my chair as I was headphoned in, and somebody scared me from behind, and sure as enough, I threw the headphones, shattered them, and jumped out and fell out of the chair.
Well, and one of the things I want to mention is, like, survival horror is definitely about, you know, jump scares and being frightening and intense combat, but there's also some horror elements to this game that are really kind of fun and disturbing and different. There's a scene in what folks are playing today where you come across this house where what you believe to be a woman is feeding what you believe to be her son.
Okay.
And nothing actually like violent happens there, but it's like one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen. Like her trying to force feed him to eat, and like it was so off-putting. It's like 10:30 in the morning, and I'm in my office like playtesting stuff, and like just I was mortified. Dropped the controller, walked out of my office, like, okay, I need need 10 minutes to.
I think again, it's worth calling out. What are these people doing for inspiration, and like, where do they just live? I feel like they have to like opposite of the spectrum, and just like look at nice, cutesy bunnies and flowers and things that are definitely not terrifying.
No.
You've done a great job setting the stage for basically that genre. I think it's going to be a great bunch of people that comes out.
October, Friday the 13th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But you're with Bethesda, and you guys got lots of games.
We have a lot of games coming out.
I was nerding out about them actually before we went live over here. One of the favorites I want to talk to you about is Wolfenstein 2.
Yep.
So I just want to talk a little bit about what did you guys bring here first of all to show? Because I heard people are getting their fill over there too.
Yeah.
Feeding them.
A little bit of games, a little bit of fun. So the New Colossus is the sequel to the New Order, which is made by Machine Games a few years ago. It's actually the first time they've ever gotten to work on a sequel to a game that they've done. And so what they've done with taking, I mean, look, the short version is it's about kicking Nazi ass. Which is way more of a socially relevant thing than I think we ever thought it would be.
Everyone is on board.
When we started this game a few years ago. But basically it's an alternate universe where Nazis have won World War II and they've taken over the world. And after the events of the first game, BJ is a broken man. He gets rescued from the very end of the first game. And this game starts off literally the moment that the first game ends, where you are rescued, and once you sort of come out of your coma, it's 1961, and you are going to incite a revolution in America to kick the Nazis out and start kind of a worldwide revolution against the Nazis.
Right, because basically they've taken over.
Yeah, I mean, they control everything, and we've done a lot of stuff with like 1960.
That's all right. We got somebody hooking something up. Yeah.
1960. Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Yep. Thank you. Random guest.
Like with music and TV shows, and basically what would America be like under Nazi control. But it's a combination of over-the-top action, cool story, and sort of this lovable band of rebels, misfits that are going to fight back against the Nazis.
See, and I love that, by the way. Like, I'm very excited. So, I'm World War II, a big nerd for World War II. My wife will attest. I've got like several books and board games and whatnot.
Yep.
I'm just fascinated with that era of the world and kind of like how it shifted culturally, the unification as well, like of different countries, different beliefs, different powers. So, very fascinated by all that. And I love the ideas that you guys, because I've read plenty of fiction novels where it's like, well, what if they won? So I like the idea that you set out to start. Shout out to your trailers too, by the way. You guys do an awesome job cutting those trailers. I don't know who the madman or madwoman who's doing those, but I love those because you start out like there's diners, but then there's like, but they're not Nazi-run diners, and you see Nazi, visuals all over the place promoting, all that. And I think it's just very interesting to see that dichotomy. And like, as a fan of the franchise myself personally, I love to see where you guys go because it's not the big things. Yeah, there's going to be a big flag on the town hall, sure, because they took it over and that's the local headquarters. But what I'm fascinated about is the little nuances. Like what little things, little time, and I know you guys do it, so I know it's going to be in there. Well, the little nuances, like maybe the books on the shelves, stuff like that might be very different and influenced by that culture.
Yeah, and you've seen we've introduced a lot of it in our trailers where we sort of do our take on like what would TV look like, where like Lassie is now a show about a girl with a Panzerhund as a pet, or like
with the Liesel.
Yeah, like the little hand-drawn like 1960s cartoons are about like Nazi superheroes, and like just doing stuff that is both very sort of contextually appropriate, but it's also like funny and then like slightly
disturbing.
Yeah, like disturbing. Like you walk down, walk down the street and it's kind of like this big festival that feels very pop culture Americana, except it's not. It's you see all the
fascism and
Nazi symbolism and Ku Klux Klan guys talking to a Nazi, and hey, the German can only be spoken on this date, like transition to no more English in the game show called German or Else, like all of that stuff setting the tone for what's happening. And look, the combat, the action, I think is great. It's stuff that Machine Games is known for and that they've done really well in all their previous
anything, it's their pedigree.
Dual wielding automatic shotguns and mowing down Nazis is a lot of fun. But the stuff that I think really surprised folks a lot in the first game was what they did with the story.
Oh, yeah.
And the characters.
If we want to peel back the onion for just a second. Sorry, I'm just really excited.
Oh.
The first game, you guys blew my mind away because you played like the first hour of it, right? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm this badass. I got these guns. I'm going crazy. And then you guys literally just rip it out, turn it upside down, and shove it back in. And you're like, all right, here we go, boys.
Yep.
And that story alone, like the moment you did that, I literally called into work the next day and said, I cannot come in. I feel sick. Sorry. I have a new boss. It's okay. Same company, but I moved on to a different team. But I literally called in sick because I could not stop. I had to know how it ended. So.
Yeah, and I think they've been able to do so much more by building on that because they have established, like, you know, who these characters are, and so being able to explore a lot more, like that relationship between BJ and Anya.
Yes, because I want to know more about that.
The other members of the Resistance, like how those storylines play out and how these characters sort of come together and grow. Has just been has been a lot of fun to watch them do as they've created this second game while still having all of that really intense, over the top combat and violence. I mean, it's got a lot of sort of Tarantino-inspired elements, I guess. Like, if you really like Inglourious Bastards, you're going to see stuff with, like...
I own it, and I've seen it many, many times.
And violence that, like, is going to sort of resonate and strike a chord. And
is it weird to say the violence is almost the palate cleanser?
A little bit,
You get these big waves of story moments. You get these emotionally experiences you go through. And, by the way, shout out, the supporting cast is great. You guys don't half-bake that supporting cast in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
You guys flesh those characters out to where, like, they feel like people I genuinely like. I play a game about that person.
Right, but you're totally right in that you'll play the game and you'll get. Uncharted was one of the very first games that really made me appreciate cutscenes, where, like, I didn't want to skip and go like, yeah, I just want to get back to playing, like, because I loved so much what they were doing. It was a game my wife would, like, wanted to watch me play. Don't play any without me because I want to see how this goes. And Wolfenstein is sort of reminds me a lot of that experience where, like, I really enjoy the cutscenes and sort of exploring how the story's going to evolve. And then you get to go, like, cut a guy's legs off with a hatchet and stick the other end in his skull and, like, do stuff that's just
so
a
palate cleanser.
Yeah, like that was really cool, and now that guy's gonna die really badly by my hand, and, like, feels cool in the most awesome way. And so the juxtaposition of those things, I think, works really well in the game.
God, I love that. So I love the idea because I'm just taking everything you say as a hint that you guys heard all that and you doubled down on all that.
More and more, and
all of that.
More and better, yeah. And you were asking before about, like, it's tasty, so then after everybody gets to play the demo here, there's a scene in the very first trailer we did where you're in the Papa Joe's diner.
A lot of my friends have been talking about it.
The German commander comes in and orders a strawberry milkshake, so once you're done playing our demo, we have folks making strawberry milkshakes. So after the demo, you get your own strawberry milkshake in a collectible Papa Joe's diner cup to take with you.
Can you take the cup with you?
Yeah, it's like a rewashable, reusable, legit, like,
I'm
tumbler.
using my exhibitor badge and coming over tomorrow.
You can come see us tomorrow morning. Milkshake for breakfast is the thing.
I love milkshakes. I didn't eat breakfast. I just have coffee for breakfast. So
come by and kill some Nazis and have a milkshake with me.
That sounds like a wonderful way to spend my day.
It's a good way to start a PAX.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And sorry, chat. I just wanted to nerd out a bit. I'm a big fan of Wolfenstein.
Honestly, I'm so looking forward to this game, and I really pick and choose how much of it I play and play test because.
So do you have to struggle with that? Like,
yeah, I do a lot. Like, I really try. I mean, I know everything. Like, I know all the spoiler stuff, but I still want to play it and experience it as much as possible for the first time at home. So I play through certain sections or kind of get feedback on the stuff folks are doing demo, but, like, I think I'm going to avoid playing the entire thing start to finish until I get home and play it.
Yeah, I know that can be a little bit of a struggle when you're making the game. To remind people here watching and in chat, when is that game coming out?
So it's once again, it's PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, and it'll be out October 27th. So 2 weeks after The Evil Within.
I've got it pre-ordered twice, by the way, because I wanted the collector's edition. So I'm a digital guy, so I've got it digitally on my Xbox, and then I got the collector's edition because you guys have, like, the...
You want the Carabelli outfit.
You've got the stat. Yeah, you've got the little figure in there.
Well, I didn't wear it today because the U.S. is playing today, and I got to support my team. But I brought my Airborne shirt to wear, that yellow Airborne shirt from the collector's edition. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna have to get one because you have a store where you can.
Yeah, we do. We even have the jacket, which is pretty. I mean, it look pretty good on you.
All right, I'm just gonna keep buying you dinners at this point.
Yeah.
I love it. No, well, Pete, thank you for joining us.
Thank
This
you for
has been
having me.
great. You guys are here at the booth, so if you're lucky enough you're watching and you're coming to PAX, definitely make sure you're checking out the Bethesda booth. But if not, you guys have a full list to line up. Definitely, like we're talking, Evil Within 2, the whole list over here, Wolfenstein 2.
Death of the Outsiders, standalone DLC is coming out in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
This will be awesome. Quake Champions just went into early access. Elder
guys-
Scrolls Online is still kicking butt. Elder Scrolls Legends for your phone if you like hard games, and all of our VR stuff. We got 3 VR games.
That's
now
true, you
for
got the
Sony.
VR games. All the success to Bethesda.
Thank
I'm
you
a
very
big
much.
fan of what you guys produce. A lot of people here in chat are a big fan of what you produce. But I'm going to let you get off and get back to working. We're going to head back over. We've got more booth coverage coming right at you guys, so stay tuned.